Hello, Florida Collegiate DECA. This weekend is full of opportunities for you to test your skills against some of the best collegiate students in the state and prove that you are ready for ICDC. This past year has been quite the roller coaster, but we are so excited to see which of you will take home the coveted DECA glass. Welcome to the 2021 Florida Collegiate DECA Career Development Conference. While this year may look different, we are so glad to see your faces virtually. This year, we've seen our chapters host stock market workshops at Nova Southeastern University, Zoom elevator pitch competitions at the University of Tampa, and of course, a big thank you goes out to everyone who came out to our Florida Collegiate DECA Leadership Conferences virtually. While we may not have seen each other in person, Florida definitely found some new ways to stay connected. Make sure to use the hashtag FLCDECA during this conference and all year long to stay connected with your hashtag DECA besties. You and your chapter may even be featured. Make sure to connect with us on Instagram at Florida_CDECA. Before we introduce our keynote speaker for this session, we would like to take a moment to thank and recognize an important group of individuals that have dedicated their time, expertise, and energy to each of our chapters, making it possible for each of you to be prepared as you pursue your career goals. They have prepared your chapter members to be leaders by encouraging and motivating us through thick and thin. Thank you to each of our chapter advisors for being the support system we need. Now, without further ado, please welcome Dr. Juanita Benedict, physical therapist, TEDx speaker, and owner of Athena Pelvic Therapy.
Stability before mobility. Now, most of you have probably never heard that term unless you're a physical therapist like me. And if you were a physical therapist like me, you would be very, very familiar with that term because it's one of the first things you learn when you go to physical therapy school. And the reason that you learn it first is because you can't learn complicated movements and master all kinds of physical skills that we need in order to move through life without first creating and mastering stabilized positions. You can't run before you learn how to crawl because the very act of crawling helps your body to understand which parts go where, because some parts need to remain still while other parts move. And even when there are mistakes that are made, your body knows that by practicing these foundational movements over and over again, that it's preparing you for that next level. Mastering stability is hardwired into our brains and into our bodies so that we can achieve the skills that we need to in these stable positions and then move to more complicated movements so that we can be free and move the way that we want to. In other words, learning how to be stable is hardwired in us as humans so that we can reach our maximum potential. Now, I know that you're sitting here today not wanting to learn probably a whole lot about your physical development, no matter how fascinating it is. But I wanted to introduce you to this concept of stability before mobility for a very specific reason. You see, it's more of a life lesson. It's almost impossible to achieve good, sustainable success in your life, in business, in your career, without first having a firm foundation in place. And no matter what that next level is for you, because it's different for each of us, you are going to get there much faster and be a better asset when you're there by spending time and building a strategic and strong foundation right now. The good news is that you've already begun. Here you are, a college student. And this is a wonderful position that not everybody has the opportunity to take advantage of. Just take a moment and think about how you got here. What sort of foundation did you have to build? Well, okay, first you had to graduate from high school, right? And in order to graduate from high school, you had to learn how to sacrifice some of the things that you wanted to do so that you could do what you needed to do to complete high school. But even before you got to high school, you had already learned so much in your at least 8 years of education leading up to high school, maybe even more. Maybe you went to pre-K, maybe you had summer school, lots and lots of educational opportunities for you before you even got into high school. And then when you decided that you wanted to go to college, what did you have to do? Well, you had to fill out college applications. You had to fill out FAFSA forms. You had to take the SATs. You had to figure out which college was right for you. So you had to learn this whole new process of thinking. Then you had to figure out the finances of how you were going to pay for school. Inch by inch, day by day, and year by year, you built a very solid foundation to land you where you are right now. And each of those skills that you have learned have served you well, because now you have a solid base, a solid foundation on which to explore and to become more mobile and more free, because you did the work beforehand. And because you're here at this DECA conference, I know something about you. I know that you are already working to achieve your next level. In fact, you may be dreaming about it on a regular basis, maybe when you're driving or in class, or just when you're in your room sitting. Maybe you're thinking about your career, what that's going to look like, how you are going to change the world. And I want to encourage you to continue doing that. Dream big, huge dreams. Don't put any guardrails on them. Don't let reality cramp where your mind can go. But eventually, when you come out of that dream state, you're going to want to start looking for ways to make those dreams reality. And what I want you to remember is that you have to be stable before you can be mobile. Remember, stability before mobility. Right now, at this moment, is the perfect time for you to begin building the foundation for your career. You've already started doing that, which is why you're here today in this DECA conference. It was a strategic and good move for your future. And strategy is the key to a strong foundation. I would like to suggest that as you start strategically thinking about laying your foundation on which you're going to build your career and change the world, that you consider 3 concepts: know-how, knowledge, and networking. Let's talk about each of these concepts quickly so that you can understand how to build that firm foundation. Let's start with know-how. Know-how is the nitty-gritty. Sadly, this is the area that most people want to skip over as quickly as possible. This is the long nights of data entry, coding, reading instructions, working the cash registers, making sure all the details in a place setting are just perfect. It's really important that you learn to pay close attention to all of the details of the actual work that's involved in what you want to go into for a career, because there is no substitute like hands-on experience. It will teach you what's possible within yourself as well as your future employees. Know-how is the very first layer of your strong career foundation. And once you have the know-how, it's time to start to accumulate knowledge. Knowledge is the ability to gather lots of different informations and to see things from different perspectives. It is the constant strategic decision to sit at the feet of masters and learn as much as you can so that you can transform that information into new and innovative ideas. Knowledge allows you to gain the admiration of your employees and become the leader that you want to be, because you have the information to provide different perspective on projects that need to be completed. So actively participate in as many organizations and activities as you possibly can. Now, sitting in meetings talking about COVID policies and parking procedures may not seem like a lot of fun and may not seem very valuable to you. However, when you look at it through a different lens and look at it as a knowledge gathering exercise, it becomes a completely different experience. Gaining knowledge is the second layer of your strong foundation for your career. Lastly, let's talk about networking. Networking has become a buzzword in the business industry. Sometimes it's code for just going out for a few too many happy hours in the name of business relations. But in reality, developing a strong and stable network of business friends and partners is priceless. Connecting with people and maintaining those relationships is going to help you in more ways than you can possibly imagine. Not only is having a good network great for when you get out of college and you need a little help finding a job, but it's also a great way for you to connect other people with services and products that you don't have. That makes you an even more valuable person in their own network. Networking is the third layer of that strong career foundation. When you spend your time and you master these three layers of a strong foundation, know-how, knowledge, and networking, you will find that your foundation is that of a strong business mindset. And once you have established that strong business mindset, there is nothing that's going to stop you from making your dreams a reality. It's time to get started building your foundation so that you can achieve that next level.
Thank you, Dr. Benedict, for your inspirational words. Before ending the session, we have a few announcements regarding competition. For those competing in exams, you should have received an exam ticket with your test information. Please verify the information is valid and you are able to access the testing portal. Because our events will be virtual this year, all competitors will be allotted a 5-minute window for technical issues. If we do not receive notice within that window, you will unfortunately be disqualified. Please double check your presentation times as they may have changed. While you prepare to compete this weekend, we would like to remind you to present with proper virtual etiquette. This includes professional dress, minimal background noise, and of course, a stable internet connection. Our judges are volunteers that are professionals from the community. It is crucial to arrive on time to maintain the positive image that Florida DECA has. We look forward to seeing who will qualify for the 2021 Collegiate DECA International Career Development Conference. Best of luck to all of you. The opening session is now adjourned.